All right, y'all. Welcome to episode 1 of Car Chronicles. So I said that I was going to pretty much post when I be sitting in the car and just kind of put my phone up, and just kind of post those. However, I sat and thought about it, and it came to me this morning, literally when I was getting myself ready this morning, that I'm going to start Car Chronicles off by every episode telling you something about myself, about my story. I didn't want to do a whole sit down video like I had started to. I could never really finish it, and I don't think that that's the route that I really wanted to go. I do want to tell people more about myself, but I wasn't feeling the sit down. So I was like, I'm just going to try something different. So I'm going to use Car Chronicles to be able to do that. So hopefully every episode you're able to learn something different about me that you did not know. Because there's a lot that people don't know about Sharda'e. So of course, starting off, I was born and raised here in Indiana. Both of my parents are from here. Pretty much most of my family is from Indianapolis. But my mother and my father, I don't know exactly when they started dating in high school. I don't know. I would have to ask them because, again, I don't know. However, I know that my mom was pregnant with me her senior year because I have their prom picture. And she was pregnant with me at the prom. So, my mother and my father had me when they were pretty young, right? So, I want to say at the age of 3, I believe, is when my grandma got custody, guardianship, whatever you want to call it. Again, I don't know. But I was 3, I believe, when my grandma got custody of me. So, my dad, me being at 3, my dad is, of course, in college. He's playing basketball or whatever in school. My dad was actually the GOAT. Y'all better ask about him. Anyway, so while my grandma is technically raising my dad, she's raising me too. So me and my dad's relationship has always been really close. We've been close, but it's been more of a brother sister versus a father daughter. It became more of a stronger father daughter bond the older I got. Once I had my own kids, I believe is when it kind of switched. But we were more like brother sister. When I say real like brother sister, I would tell on him, he telling on me. That's literally how our relationship was. Love my dad, literally love my dad. And then my mother was very active too. I never had a time where neither parent was active in my life. Both parents were extremely active in my life. Um, I spent weekends, holidays, the times like when we was out of school, I spent that with my mom, literally. So I was always with them. How whatever it was, I was able to spend time with them. So my grandma made sure that I still had a close relationship with both parents. So, okay, y'all, let's finish this out. So, sorry, I had to get back to work this morning, but I never really knew the full story behind why I had to go live with my grandma, and I don't think I really cared to ask until my mother had my sister, and my brother, because like when it was time for me to go home and my sister, and my brother got to stay, I would just be like, "Dang, why did they get to stay and then I got to go home?" Um, and then of course, them having their own rooms and stuff, and then me being there, and when I would come over, I would have to share a room like with my sister. um yeah, all of those things, they really kind of bothered me. I never told anybody about any of it. I just kind of kept it to myself. Eventually I did go to therapy as an adult to kind of heal some childhood trauma, and that was one of them. So um I believe I asked my grandma, and my grandma was just like, my parents were not stable, because I don't believe they were together at this time either. So my parents were not stable. They didn't have a stable home for me to live in, so it was best that I stayed with her and she raised me. I just left it at that. I never asked any other questions. Again, I was younger when I kind of asked that, and I just left it alone. Um, I did not find out my mother's side of it until I was an adult. Matter of fact, I believe it was last year when I found out the truth. My mother didn't want to give up her rights. That's not what she really wanted. She did have people in her ear, or people that were telling her that that was the best decision. They were kind of pushing her to do it, and I just believe that my mother was young, so of course she's trying to make the right decision, and I believe that she did make the right decision. Her and my dad, I believe, made the right decision to allow my grandma to raise me, because I had an amazing life. I didn't miss out on anything. I was only kid at home, so I was pretty much spoiled. um but I just think that my mother should have been given the chance, and I don't think that she was really given the chance that she deserved. But again, Neither of my parents were absent parents. They were both in my life. My mother was always there. Whenever I had programs or whatever, she was there. My dad there. When I played basketball, like, they were there. They didn't miss out on anything. So again, I just look at it as a blessing. I feel like God knew what he was doing. He put me where he believed that I needed to be, which was with my grandma. And again, that's my girl. She drives me nuts sometimes, but absolutely love her. I literally love everything about her. So yeah, that's a little bit of about me. Um, Again, my grandma, I was with my grandma from the age of 3 on up. She helped me raise my 2 boys, which again, I will forever be grateful to her about that. Um, let's see. A lot of people did not know that I was homeschooled. I did not start public school until the 4th grade. I was homeschooled up to the 3rd grade, and then I got tired of it and just told my grandma I wanted to go to public school, so I ended up in public school. Um, but but yeah, that's just a little bit about me. Again, I don't mean to offend anybody or hurt anybody's feelings. I am telling my story the way that I want to tell it. So again, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I'm just telling my story. So that is it for the first episode of Car Chronicles. Tune in for the next episode. You'll find out a little more about me. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Love y'all. Bye.